Hello, welcome to my channel, Judy's Creations in Crochet. And today is August the 17th, 2023. And I have a lot of odds and ends to talk about today. I am really happy that I actually finished 3 projects in this past week, but you aren't going to get to see any of them today. I finished my Just Feel Festive shawl or wrap, which you will see next week. And I finished my project for the August cowl using the gladiolus as the inspiration, and I'll show you that the week after. And I think I finished another shawl that I will show you the 1st of September when we do the focus on a designer. So no finished objects to actually show you this week. But I know you're wondering what is it that I'm wearing, and I will take it off so you can see. It is a shawl that I often wear as a front neck piece as well, but today's a little too warm for that. I will show I went looking for the pattern. I was sure it was an EFA pattern, but when I looked it up, it wasn't there. But I do know that I use the Mirage Sport, which is a little heavier than fingering, and it feels heavenly. And it is a project where you can see the sections change with the colors. It also changes stitch. Haven't worn it in quite a while, but it feels heavenly, so I'm going to put it back around my shoulders and just tie it in front. So no finished objects today. I want to mention a couple of housekeeping items or administrative items before we go on with our focus today. Our focus is hand-dyed American yarn. I want to mention that I know some of you are finished before the end of the month when it comes to the monthly cow, and some of you have been posting other places, which is great and wonderful, and I appreciate it. I just want to say that if you post on Instagram, there is a hashtag to use. I don't think everybody is using it, and so I don't get to see what you're posting. So please remember, it's hashtag Judy's Cal 2023. Please use that hashtag so I can see what you're posting. The other thing is you need to keep separate whether you're sending me the monthly cal or whether you're sending me something on the summer cal. Please be sure to put that in the subject line of the email when you send me a picture. And when you post in Ravelry, be sure that you get the monthly cal in the monthly cal thread and get the Just Feel Festive wrap or shawl, whatever you want to call it, in the summer cal thread. Okay, just keep an eye on it. The other thing, some people are saying that they can't get a picture posted on Ravelry. Well, you can post there without a project page, but you have to pay for it. Not a lot, but you do have to pay for it. But if you go to the pattern page and click on create a project, then that opens a page where you can put the information if you want about what yarn you use, so on. There's lots of things you can fill out, but you can post a picture on your project page so that when you are in Ravelry, you can then click on the icon to upload a picture and it will take it from your project page, and there is no charge. And that's what I'm trying to make a project page on anything that I make in Ravelry and put pictures there if I ever want to post. And I do appreciate seeing everything you're doing, and I appreciate your posting in the appropriate threads. There was something else I wanted to mention and it escapes me. That's typical. And so today we're going to get on to what the purpose of today is, because I remember when I did Canadian Dyers, it was a very long video, and I don't want this one to be as long. So today I'm focusing on American dyers, but just before I start, I remembered what I wanted to say. I wanted to welcome all the newcomers, because we are getting new people all the time. I am having people talk about me or sharing my videos, I guess, is the best way to get me out there. And they're talking about me on other channels, and I really, really appreciate that. And I just want to say thank you for anything you do to get the word out there about my channel. And we're going to get to the 1,000 real soon. So that's kind of exciting for me. Not that the number means that much, but it's just a milestone I wanted to hit. Okay, so let's talk about Indie Dyers in the US. I did say once before, I am not doing any big companies. I am doing all of what I consider to be independent indie dyers. And before I start, I have to apologize, because when I did the Canadian ones, I missed a couple of Canadian ones, and I'm getting them out to do these, and I found two that didn't fit in today's video. So I thought very, very quickly I would just mention them. And I went back to the day when we did the Canadian Dyers, and that is July the 20th. I think I might link that video down below in case you want to look at that, for those that weren't here at the time or want to refer back to it. So you'll have this one and the other one in the same place. And I went back to the list I made of Canadian Dyers, and I added these two names at the bottom. You'll see where I put an asterisk, and then I listed them. So the first one I missed was Tannis Fiber Arts, and here are a couple from them, and they are 100% organic merino. This one is, and this one is 80 merino and 20 nylon. And of course, this one feels a little bit better, a little plumper. And they are in, I believe they're in Montreal, and it's a family business. And I'm sorry I missed it to talk about that day, but that's one company. And this other company, and I don't remember ordering from it, but I did see a couple of them, and it's called Frosted Stitch. And I have several of them. I only kept one out to show you. Again, Canadian dyer, and this one is merino nylon blend again. Doesn't feel quite as soft as the last one, but I just wanted to mention it, that I added them to the Canadian list. So let's put them out of the way for today. So again, I have this table full. I'm going to pull the table down a bit, and some of these you will remember because I have shown you their yarn in the past, and I had more to say about them than others. Some of them were fairly recent. Others have been a long time, so you may not remember them. Okay, sorry about that, but I had spent some time looking up where these yarns came from, and all of a sudden I realized that my notes were on the iPad I'm using to videotape. So I had to figure out how to get my notes where I could see them. After I did all that work, I wanted to share it with you. So the first one, some of these I will not know where they came from. I couldn't find what I was looking for. And the first one is Yarn Love, and I don't know why I can't find where it came from. But you know what's interesting? In order to find this information for you, I, in almost every situation, went to their website. And companies need to put their contact information in such a way that you can contact them, and at least put where they are from. Sometimes I know they don't want to put a specific address because they're doing it from their home, and I understand that. But a lot of them have stores and they still don't have the city they're in. You know, you might live close enough that you would like to visit and see their yarn. So I think it's a mistake that a lot of these companies don't put specific information about where they are. And I had to do a lot of searching in some cases. I think they should, like a few I showed you before, I think they should at least put, you know, Florida or Michigan or California or wherever they are located. That much should be on their label. Anyway, here's Yarn Love. It is a nylon merino blend, as most of the yarn is that I buy, and it feels nice. It feels average. Very pretty color. Next, I have this Marinated Yarns, and I know because I just came across it, I have one, if not two, of their mini sets. Marinated Yarns, and Marinated Yarns is in New Jersey, so I hope you'll apologize if I keep looking at my notes. They're located in New Jersey, and this is a 70 merino, 20 cashmere, and 10 nylon. I was going to tell you it was softer than the last one, and that's the cashmere. Feels very, very nice. And I have, like I said, a set of minis, so the fact that they have minis is a bonus to me, and I'll be using that in the near future. Very nice yarn, feels great. The next one I have, I don't recall ordering from this company. I only had the one. I did not have any others in my stash, and it's called Round Table Yarns. So I have to guess that I would have found them on Etsy. They do say hand-dyed in Texas. Simple line like that on all of them would be wonderful. And I have to think they were on Etsy and had very cheap or free shipping that I only ordered one. This is 100% superwash merino. I always find 100% merino not as soft as the merino nylon blends. Beautiful color, but not as soft as some. Now, who knows after I wash it and block it. The next one I have here, and I had a number of skeins from this company, and it is called Cashmere and Coconuts, hand-dyed yarn, Cashmere and Coconuts. This again is a 85-15 merino nylon blend. It feels very nice, and Cashmere and Coconuts, I can't find it now. Oh, there it is in Minnesota. Feels nice. A little nicer than some of the others. And I really liked them at the time I ordered from them. I know I have more because I also ordered some sparkle from them. And I remember at the time saying, oh, this sparkle is heavenly. And you know, it's just a merino nylon lurex. It's not stellina, it's lurex. I don't know the difference. A 70-25-5, but it feels so nice and plump, and yet it is a fingering weight, 437 yards. I know you can see those sparkles, and I love the plumpness of it. So I would definitely go back to that site and order their sparkle yarn for sure. It's called Diamond Sock is the base. Both beautiful colors. Really, really love the feel of them. And I believe they sent them in pairs in these nice bags that some of them send you the yarn in. Okay, so moving along, because we don't want to be here all day. The next one I got is from This Craft and That. Now, I'm almost positive I ordered this from Etsy, And I ordered it because it was sparkle in a multicolor. I got two so I can put them together in a shawl or a wrap of some sort. And again, this is merino, nylon, and stellina, and it's a fingering weight and feels very nice, but it's going to be hard to match the plumpness and the softness of this one from Cashmere and Coconuts. It's a nice yarn, but the other feels much squishier. Okay, that's the only thing I ever ordered from that company. Now moving on, I did order, I think more than once, from 100 Ravens. This, I didn't say, this craft or that is in Michigan. Next we have 100 Ravens, and it is from New Hampshire. And I remember when I ordered this, how much I loved it, and I wanted to go back and get more, but I said you can't order tons of everything. So I'll show you this one first. I remember having trouble pronouncing the base. And this is, again, 80, oh, this one is merino and bamboo. And there is a slightly different feeling. It is a very nice feeling, very soft. The strands are maybe just a wee bit plumper. Very, very nice. But I remember at the time falling in love with this one. And that's because this one is 50% baby alpaca, 25% silk, and 25% linen. And that was the first time I had something with linen that did not feel like linen. This feels very soft, very luxurious, but that would be the alpaca and silk together. There's 438 yards. So I'm going to be making probably a one skein item with this that is going to be heavenly feeling. You can tell the silk in it for sure. It is really, really nice. I'm pretty sure I have others from that same company. Next, I have here Forbidden Fibers. These are not in the same, Forbidden Fibers is from Tennessee. And I know I ordered 3 at the time, 3 different, very pretty, in my kind of color range, sparkles. I love the colors. You know, not all dyers dye the same. They don't all use the same method or the same thing to dye with. And I have to tell you, I love the way these colors have come out. It's one of those ones that I want to get to quickly. Now, again, this is, what is this made out of? Merino, nylon, and stellina. Actually, it's larger than some. It's 495 yards. Most fingerings are around 437. They're 400 meters or 437 yards. This one has a little bit more. I can make a bigger item. And just look at those gorgeous colors. Now, I know I have more skeins from this company. Not a lot. I believe I only got 3 at the time. They were all beautiful. Next, we're going to look at a company. I have 2 of this. It's called Dream. Actually, if you're looking it up, Dream in Color Yarn is what you have to look up to find it. So this is from Arizona. I know I have a number of viewers in Arizona, so you may be wanting to check into this further to see if they're anywhere close to you. Now, I have 2 skeins of this, 400 yards, so I can make a larger item. And this is, and it feels it, this is 70 merino, 20 cashmere, and 10 nylon. I have a tendency to buy cashmere if they haven't overpriced the yarn, because it does feel that little bit nicer. Although the green cashmere, oh, it has silk. This is cashmere, that's silk. Yeah, they're both really nice, but the green one was a little bit nicer. Okay, moving on. I showed yarn from this company not too long ago, I don't think, because I had them on the table for quite a while. And that is McMullin Fiber Company. McMullin Fiber Company is in Ohio. These are two different yarns, interesting colors. And I know I have more of their yarn. I'm only showing you a couple. This one is their, this one here is 100% superwash merino. It's actually quite nice feeling for superwash merino because sometimes I don't like the feel of it, but this is quite nice. The other one from them I have is called Posh Sock, so I know it's going to have something good in it. I better make sure I put this together before it falls apart. This has 80% merino, 10 cashmere, and 10 nylon. And yeah, very, very nice feeling. I don't think I've ordered more than once from them. Next, I have a company that I really don't remember ordering from. It's called Fiber Optic Yarn. Let's see where they are located. Fiber Optics. They're in Ohio also. So these are slightly different. This one is merino and nylon, 80-20, pretty common. Feels fine. You can see the twist in the yarn. But this one is 50 merino, 50 silk. There's a teensy little bit of difference, but I couldn't really say there was a lot. So I hope there wasn't a big difference in the price, because there isn't a lot of difference in the feel. And like I said, I only ordered from them once, possibly from Etsy. Now this next one, I believe I ordered from them twice because I was really happy with some of the yarn I got, and I went back and ordered more. And that's Evergreen Yarn Studio. And I know I have several other skeins of their yarn. Now this one is 75-25 merino nylon, and you can see why I ordered it. It's the colors. And it feels nice, but not any different than most. It's kind of an average feel. Now this other one that I have here, this feels really nice. Without looking, I have to guess it maybe has something else in it. Now here's interesting. 85 merino, 15 nylon. Doesn't sound any different, but it says extra fine superwash merino, which makes me believe that, like, say, Ravenswood, they're using a smaller micron of the merino yarn, because I always find Ravenswood to feel better than other merino nylon blends. And I know it's because she uses an extra fine merino. Well, it's the same thing here. I can feel the difference between this skein and the last one I showed you. You might even be able to see that it's just, it says extra fine, but somehow the yarn itself seems a bit plumper. It definitely feels silkier. I don't know if it's silkier or it almost feels, it feels as good as some of those that have cashmere in it. So looking for companies, especially this one, and the Evergreen Yarn Studio is in Washington. Looking for companies that actually tell you that they're using an extra fine merino is worth checking into. You're going to get a nicer, I think, a nicer quality yarn, a nicer feeling yarn, has the same amount, 438 yards, as any other one. Very, very nice. And I know I have a few more from that company. Okay, moving on. I have a company that is called Created for You by Laura. Let me get this one up. Created for You by Laura. Doesn't say on there. She's on Facebook and Instagram. Created for You. Oh, there it is. She's in Ohio and Florida. She just said Ohio and Florida. And so I'm having to guess that she probably spends the winters in Florida and the summers in Ohio. A lot of people do that are in the northern or colder states. And the Canadians go to the southern states for winters because they don't like the cold winters. And Ohio can be cold and lots of snow. So she's in both locations. I guess she does it from both locations. And there is a very beautiful hand-dyed color. And this one is merino nylon 75-25. But you know, it feels a little better than a couple of the other ones I showed you. Now, I got more than one. I got a number of skeins. In fact, I'm almost positive I've ordered from her more than once. So I'll show you some others. First of all, I know I have 2 tweeds from her. And this tweed really feels nice. And it is 85 merino 15 Donegal. That's the nebs that makes it look like a tweed. And I have 2 of these because I have a cowl pattern, neck pattern in mind for it, although I've bought 2 different colors to do it. Very pretty color. And one other from her that I really wanted to show you, and that's this one, and it is 50% baby alpaca, 25% silk, and 25% linen. So it is the same makeup as this one. So let's compare. Now, definitely it is soft. No, like, to me, linen has a stiff feel to it. No feeling of linen. So obviously the silk and alpaca overtake it. I have to tell you, and I don't know if it's because this one's wound tighter and this one's looser, but this one feels better. 100 ravens. If you get 100 ravens in this base, can't pronounce her words, but if you get that base, you know you're going to get luxurious. Now, this is still lovely feeling. If you want to order from her, it's still lovely, lovely feeling, but this is just a tad bit better. Okay, gonna have to move that table down. It's getting kind of far. Next, we have Savvy Skeins. Again, this is one I think I didn't show too long ago. Savvy Skeins is in Texas. I love the color. And I know I ordered more than one skein from this company, but I didn't want to bring it all out. And again, this is a 80-20 mix. And it feels nice. About the average. Most merino nylons, when you put them in water and block them, generally soften up. This one is nice already, but it's just average. There's nothing wrong with average. Now this one, I don't know why I ordered it. I do remember kind of ordering it. And it's called Backcountry Knitter. And I think I have 1 or 2 more skeins from them. Backcountry Knitter. Backcountry Knitter is from Utah. Now, I figured as much when I picked it up, and maybe that's why I ordered from them. They probably had a good price on what's called MCN sock. That means merino cashmere sock. So this has 80 merino, 10 cashmere, and 10 nylon. Feels nice. I could tell the difference when I pick it up. For those of you that have not bought a lot of hand-dyed yarn, you buy a merino nylon and you buy one with a little bit of cashmere, even just 10%, you are going to find the difference when you pick it up. Now, this isn't as soft as one of the others I had in my hand, but it's still very nice. And guess what? This is what I like to see. Hand dyed in Salt Lake City, Utah. So now you know, if you're close to them, I don't think I have viewers in Utah that I'm aware of, but maybe I do. You know you're close, you may be able to go and see their yarn, touch it and feel it before you buy it. Okay, next we have, I only had 2 skeins from this company. I'm not too sure why I ordered from them. And they're in California, and it's called OINK Fibers. Oh, OINK Pigments. OINK Pigments. Oftentimes I see somebody talking about their yarn, or especially I've told you that I follow Karen Hooley, and she live interviews different dyers, and then I go and get some to try it out. This is a merino cashmere nylon. That may be part of why I bought it. I bought it. Hello, Judy. And it's called Nimbus, and doesn't say how much is in it. I'm assuming it's the same length as most. Now again, it has some cashmere in it. It just feels a little better than an average merino nylon. It doesn't feel as nice as some of the cashmeres that I've had. I know I have 2 of this color, and that's it. Next, I had quite a selection in my stash from this company. So I brought out a few just to compare the different bases. I haven't bought from them in a while, but they're called Blue Barn Fiber. Blue Barn Fiber is in, it says Idaho to North Carolina. So I think that meant, and I don't know how up to date their website is, but I have a feeling when I bought it, they were in Idaho, and they are in the process of moving to North Carolina. So maybe when you go searching for them, you may find they're already in North Carolina, for they're relocating for some reason. So this is your standard, oh no, it's not, 10, 8, 10, and 10 merino cashmere nylon. Now, I can't say that it's that much better feeling. If you got a good merino nylon that used an extra fine low micron of merino, it would feel even better than this. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the feel of it, but it doesn't, I wouldn't pick it up and say right away it had cashmere in it like the others that I picked up. So that's just something to know. Now, here's another one of theirs I bought. And this one is also merino cashmere nylon. And it feels better than that last one. So sometimes I think it is the color. Some colors just make the yarn feel stiffer, a little harder, because this feels much softer than the other one. And yeah, I tended to see with the halo and everything that it did have cashmere in it. So that's another one from them. I know that I have, maybe 3 or 4 more from them, and then one more from them. And this one does feel lovely. And this is merino and silk. Merino and silk. and it feels the nicest of all of them. Sometimes silk feels way better than cashmere. This is very, very nice. There's a plump kind of look to it at the bottom. So that's really nice. So put those out of the way. I'm getting quite a pile. Now this next company, I bought a fair bit at once. I know for a fact that it was one of the companies that Karen Hooley interviewed. It's called Trilogy Yarns. Let me find. Trilogy Yarns is also in Washington. Well, Karen is in Washington, so she would be very familiar with the companies there. I bought a variety of bases from this company. So I don't know where to start. I'm going to start with this one. This is MCN, so it's merino, cashmere, nylon. I could tell by looking at it that it looked like it had cashmere in it. 450 yards. It feels nice. The cashmere is evident. Now, did I tell you? Oh, yeah, they're in Washington. Very, very nice feeling and a very nice color. Dusty mauve. Dusty mauve is what they call it. Then I have another that looks like, to me, oh, okay, and what's this? Here's another MCN. Same makeup as this one. Different color. But feels nice and soft. Yeah, I think the purple one feels just a little bit nicer. Again, it might be the difference in color, dye lots. The next one I got from them is what they call their singles. What's the name of this base? Plush. Well, has cashmere in it. It would be plush. This is called Singles, and I really like the feel of it, although it is a finer, be hard to get. It's finer and you don't see the twist because it is merino and mulberry silk. 70 merino, 30 mulberry silk. Not quite as heavenly as EFA's pearlescent fingering, but again, you can feel the silkiness in it. Nice, very nice yarn. I have to say, I remember dealing with this company wasn't a problem. Obviously, I had no problems with the mail or anything, or you would have heard about it. And finally, I got two that may or may not match. I don't know what your thinking is. I could definitely put those together, I think. And they're sparkle bait. You can see the sparkle. See, there's sparkle in it. You catch it every now and then. So it is a 70 merino, 20 nylon, and 10 stellina. And it feels nice. Feels nice. I really like the colors in this. And I think I must have got this one so they could go together. Although it's a little more on the pink, it's still, and gray, it would go with it, I think. Anyway, these feel nice. And this is a company I would probably deal with again. I think I told you that Trilogy was in Washington, correct? Yes, it's in Washington. So I'm happy with what I got from them. They had a very nice selection. Some companies, they might have very nice yarn, but they have very, very little selection. And when you're kind of fussy like me, you know, and I don't ever order one, especially from the US, because the shipping on one is about the same as shipping on 3 or 4. Okay, reaching way to the far corner, because we're almost there. I have one, and honestly, I think I must have got this off of Etsy. It's called Herd of Cats. The company is Herd of Cats, and it presents Road Trip sock yarn. So, Herd of Cats, I have a feeling is one that I could not find. Oh, Road Trip sock yarn. I'm thinking the company name is now Road Trip Sock Yarn, because I could find that, and they're in Colorado. This feels quite nice. 75-25, nothing unusual. I was probably just trying out the yarns. I like to try different companies just to see, you know, compare their standard nylon merino base just to see which one may be better than another, and to see what their colors are like. Do I like their colors or not? And the next one I have to show you is Treehouse Knits. Treehouse Knits. I'm sorry, I can't. Oh, Treehouse Knits. Yeah, I don't have a location on them, so I know there was one or two sites I went to, and it's almost like the site doesn't exist, or one was on vacation. Something flying around here. Anyway, this is a merino nylon blend. I kind of like the speckled colors in it, but the whole thing doesn't, it feels average, doesn't excite me in any way. Okay, now what do we have here? Oh yeah, I only have one of these out here, but I know, again, I made 2 orders from Candy Skein because I had one of their yarns that was a cashmere, and I really, really liked it, and I ordered more. And I remember that she was really, really, I wish I'd brought it out. It's called Luscious something. I remember loving the yarn so much, I went back to buy more because I only had one skein of what I liked at the time. And she said, I went to order 3 to make a sweater, and she said, I only have one. Did I want to just take the one? Did I want to take what she had and wait for a reorder or dye more? And she was the one that I said, you know what, please dye me more. And then she had to order the yarn, and it was the wrong thing. And so she contacted me and said, I'm really sorry for the holdup, and I have to reorder this because they sent me the wrong thing, and, you know, asked me again what I wanted to do. I said, no, there's no rush. I remember her being really good to work with. So this is a company that's worth looking at. Candy Skein. Where are they located? Candy Skein is in Oregon. Trying to remember if Karen may have interviewed her. I don't think so. Anyway, I only brought the one out to show you, and this is what they call their Luscious Fingering, and it is an 80-10-10 merino nylon cashmere, and it doesn't feel as nice as some cashmeres, but I did get her other Luscious something or other, and it was more cashmere. I don't think I had nylon. It was cashmere and something, maybe cashmere and silk. It was heavenly, just heavenly, and I want to make a sweater out of it. So that's one thing I can tell you about this company. Very good to work with. Very good to work with. I would work with this company again for sure. Then I have this yarn. I have no idea where they're from. I went looking for them. They have a website, alcyarns.com, but didn't tell me anything. It's 100% superwash merino. Why I have one and only one, I have no idea. It doesn't say on here, but it says it's a light 3. That's another thing. I don't order very many DKs because you get less yarn, 231 yards. So I'm not too sure what I was thinking when I bought this. I probably bought it on Etsy because it isn't something I go hunting for. So I can't tell you much about that one. Okay, the next one that I can tell you a fair bit about, and that is Chicken Lady Fiber Arts. Now, Chicken Lady Fiber Arts, I know, was interviewed by Karen Hooley. And where are they located? Colorado. And this lady I did have some communications with. First of all, I'll tell you about this yarn. It is 75 BFL. I don't typically order that. And 25 nylon. For BFL and nylon, it feels fine. I find that BFL has a tendency to be a scratchier feeling. This is the lady that has the little wee box of samples like Bone box, and it has a teeny little sample of all the different fiber bases that she has. And I showed you that box. I put it away somewhere. I didn't go looking for it. But she also was somebody that we had this problem with the shipping. And I did, back in the day, I didn't know to ask everybody. And she was the one that the package, I'm pretty sure I got notification the package was to be delivered and it was coming through UPS. And I refused it and it went back. And when I refused a package, I contacted the company. I contacted her and said, I refused it and this is why. And, oh, before that ever happened, I was having problems processing the order. And I contacted her and she said it had something to do, with the back part of the site. And she had to make some kind of fix on it. And then we had the shipping problem and it went back. And I told her, I explained to her how much it would cost for me to I knew what the price was to receive it, but I told her if this had come through the postal service, it would have only cost like $30 versus this $75 or $85. And she's, oh, I didn't know. ShopRite tells us to use UPS because they're cheaper. And she says, I was going to send to the UK. They said the same thing, use UPS is cheaper. I said, well, I don't know what happens over in the UK if you send something, but I know when it comes into Canada that UPS charges all these extra fees to get it, and the post office doesn't. So it may be cheaper to mail it at your end, or I pay the shipping, of course. It may be cheaper in shipping, but to receive it is like 2-3 times as much. She says, oh, thank you for telling me. I will change that. And from then on, she changed her site so that she uses the postal service in the US to mail things. And I thought it was nice of her. In fact, she wrote me and said, thank you for telling me that. I would not have known it. I was just listening to ShopRite and following their recommendation. So I'm happy to know this. Okay, so that was one yarn. This is another one I got from her, and this is merino bamboo and nylon, and it feels nice. The cashmere is nicer. The bamboo isn't quite as obvious in this one as it was in one of the other ones I got. But this is the one that I ordered. You saw I made the shawl. I ordered her mini set, and her mini went from red to whites with speckles like white and blue, and then to navy. And it was called the Patriotic Mini Set, and it was meant to replicate like the US flag. And I bought 2 sets and I did the red to white back to red, and I still have the navy minis left to do something with that. But her yarn is nice. She's definitely good to work with and willing to hear what you have to say. I, of course, haven't ordered any more because I have lots and I don't need to order more. Now, I only have one from this company. Again, I don't remember ordering from them. Supernatural Yarns. Oh, sorry. Supernatural Yarns. And they're from that'd be Missouri, I guess. And this is merino nylon stellina. Boy, the stellina, there you can see the stellina. Even to me, the stellina is hard to see, but it is in there. It feels very nice. Again, I don't know how I got it, why I only have one, but I only have one. Okay. I have another company on my list here called Nitty Gritty Fiber Arts. Nitty Gritty Fiber Arts is sitting on the table to show you as an acquisition. So possibly next week we will get to that one. I also should have some from Weird Sisters wool, and I don't know where that went to because I had quite a bit from Weird Sisters. I may have to cut and paste here. Anyway, here's one from Banshee Fiber Studio. I don't remember the company. I probably ordered it because of this gorgeous metallic metal. It doesn't feel as nice as some. It's 92 merino and 8 lurex, so that's why. There's no nylon in it, so it doesn't feel quite as good. I have quite a bit from Weird City Wool. They're in Washington. I'm sorry it isn't. I must have had so much out, and then I was putting some away, and I put it all away. I don't know what happened there, but that's another company I've dealt with, Weird Sisters Wool, and I remember it being very nice. I have one last one on the table, and I'm actually going to do double duty here. I'm going to show you an acquisition. I bought this in the past. Some of you will remember me saying I wanted to put these three together. It's Sparkle. It's from Miss Babs. And Miss Babs is, I don't have her. Oh, there it is. Miss Babs is in Tennessee. And I really liked this yarn when I got it. All three of these are the same. They're merino and nylon. 92 merino, 8 lurex. But they feel better than the last one I showed you. But these are from the past, just to remind you. But I do have an order that I've had sitting on the table waiting to show you for a while. So I'm going to show you those now. The first two are more of the lurex. The same base. Here's, see the base name, Estrelita. So I got two more in a blue and another brown. So I may even be able to add it to these and do all four of them together. So that's an acquisition from this past winter. But I got a few more from her this time. First, we will start with Caroline. I think they're all Caroline. Okay. So by the price, I'm going to guess they have cashmere in them. Yep. 70% superwash, 20 cashmere, 10 nylon. I love an MCN base, but these don't all feel quite the same. Here's one color. I'm showing all of these because you haven't seen them before, and they were on the table as an acquisition to show you. Then there is this one. Again, you can see why I ordered these. The colors are gorgeous. And then there's this third one. And I have to tell you, this third one feels a little bit softer than the others. Again, I have to attribute it to the colors, a softer color. So that finishes up the yarn dyers in the US. I have another acquisition of a yarn dyer and an acquisition from a US company. I don't think they're a yarn dyer to show you yet. That will come. So that gets us through. It's still a little bit long, but not as long as the Canadian one was. I only do this because I want to, I guess, share companies that do have what I think is some quality yarn. When I did the Canadian one, people seemed to be very interested in seeing the different yarns that I have and companies that they can purchase from. So now the bulk of my viewers are in the US. So now I've given you some companies to research and look for in the US. I don't have prices. Some of them have the prices on it, but you know, they're all fairly comparable, but you can do the research yourself. So I want to talk about one more thing, and that, well, actually two more things. As I said, I finished quite a few things, and one thing I finished just last night, and I put on the stretching blocks this morning. So I'm getting ready to come up with a new project. And I was sitting here debating whether I would do a mohair. Like I mentioned, I wanted to do something in mohair real soon. And so I had that consideration sitting here ready to do a mohair. At the same time, I did some research. Remember, I showed this, did I show it last week? My newest, or the week before. No, I showed it last week. My newest acquisition from Arkansas sock company, and I love this and I want to do it for myself. And I got down a rabbit hole looking at, since I have two, I'm going to do a shawl. And I want something that's a little bit special. And do you think I could find what I was looking for? No. So I'm going to ask, since I'm not going to start on it right away, maybe in a week, I'm going to ask if you have any suggestions of what you consider would be a special shawl that I might want to use this beautiful yarn for. So that's been put aside, and the mohair has been put aside, and I'll tell you why. I got a package, a box in the mail when I got home today that I didn't expect to get until later in the week. For more than a year, I have really, really wanted some Caron, what do they call it? Colorama Halo. Now, I don't know how much you know about it, but when it first came out, it's a Caron yarn, but it wasn't carried here in Canada. In fact, it was exclusive to Joann's Fabrics. Now, Joann's has, in the last year or so, started to ship to Canada. So I went on their website, and there it was, the Colorama. And it reminds me of Latte, which I think Latte has to be my #1 yarn from the big box stores. And I really, really wanted it. And it has a beautiful ombre in it. Well, there it was on Joann's, and I'm all excited. I put it in my cart, go to pay for it. Sorry, we do not ship this to Canada. I got very, very frustrated and upset. Like, why are there these exclusives? Why can't we get them? It turns out that Joann's, I later found out, only ships their own name brand. And I have ordered a little bit of theirs, but I was so disappointed. I really wanted that yarn. Well, I'm sure some of you have seen a few of the creators out there have been showing that now Colorama is not in the Ogo shape. It came out in the Ogo shape. Now it's in a cake. And not only have they put it in a cake, which everybody prefers, and you know what? It's got to be cheaper to make and cheaper to ship in the little cake instead of the Ogo. They've also added other colors, but the colors they've added are 2 different colors. They are not an ombre. But I was watching, first of all, Crystal Abago Day was doing a review on it. She likes Latte like I do. And then I saw Mikey from the Crochet Crowd doing a review on that and another new yarn. Now, Mikey is Canadian as well. I believe he's in Nova Scotia. And he was talking about it, but again, he said, I don't have any samples of this because it is not out in Canada yet. You can get this in Joann's. And then he said, hopefully before very long, you will see it on Yarnspirations. And a light bulb went off for me. Yarnspirations has a US and a Canada 2 different websites, all under one company. Yarnspirations owns Red Heart and Karen and Bernat and a few others. And I can order from Yarnspirations. And in fact, they are affiliated with Spinrite. For those of you that are Canadians, and maybe some of the others, Crystal orders from Spinrite because Spinrite has these great big tent sales. And I'm telling you, they're a sale. And they have humongous balls, single balls, like, you know, what is it, Lion Brand 1 pounder, and what is the Karen one? It's called something else. They're big balls, but these big balls at the tent sale are like 2 or 3 times as big. They're huge, and they're a good price, and they have a great tent sale every summer. And Spinrite is in Listowel, which is, I don't know, 2 to 3 hour drive from me. I've never actually gone there. And the sales are unreal. And Yarnspiration is, I guess, the owner of Spinrite, because those are the items they sell at Spinrite. Well, I went on Yarnspiration, and I thought, oh, good, they have them. And what do you know, the next day before I got to ordering, thank goodness, I got a notification that Yarnspiration was having 25% off site-wide. So I went and looked to see if they had this colorama. Now, probably a lot of you, all those in the US for sure, have seen these. You've gone to Joann's and seen them, although they were out when I tried to see if they were in a store that I could get somebody to pick it up. So here is the colorama halo that I'm talking about. They still have the Ogos. They don't have the new cake size. And maybe that's why they're on sale. Now, I was directed to the Canadian site, so everything was in Canadian dollars and shipping and everything else. And I absolutely love these. They don't feel quite as nice as my lattes, but they sure do feel good. And they have a great ombre effect. And there's 440 yards in one of these. 2 of these will make a shawl. Well, these are normally Canadian dollars, $16.99, and they were on for $10.39, or yeah, I think $10.39. Well, that's more than 25% off. And I said, oh, I've got to get them. And I got the 5 colors that I like. There's one of the blues. There is a second blue. There is this purple. There is this pink or cranberry. And there is a teal. I absolutely love these. I ordered them on the weekend when I got the notification of the sale. And today is Tuesday here that I'm videotaping, and they were on my doorstep when I got home after lunch today. And I thought, what perfect timing. I'm ready to start a new project. I'm going to make a shawl, and I think I'm going to use this blue. I have 2 of them, so there's enough to make a good size shawl. So I have my project picked out that will go on my hook later this afternoon or this evening. So that's what I hope to have finished to show you next week. It's not a whip yet, but it soon will be, and it will be a finished object. So I was thrilled, just absolutely thrilled to be able to get this colorama halo. Now the new ones I didn't like as well. I like the old ones. And so anybody out there in Canada that has wanted to get these or want to try them, I'll certainly be telling you what I thought about using them, how they come off of here, and how they work up. They are considered to be a number 5, but so is the latte cake, and that's the fuzz. That's the fuzz. So Yarnspirations.com is the place to go if you have an interest in this. So that's all I have to bring you today. It still was a little longer than I always like. Next week, reminder, next week is the end of Just Feel Festive Shawl, the CAL. So you want to be finishing up your Just Feel Festive shawls, and get your pictures into Ravelry because something will be happening there. I just want to remind you of that. So until next week, when we talk about the shawls we finished, happy hooking.